Well, hello there, boys and girls. This is Chris, I'm the real estate guy, and today we have my good friend John Cabello on. John and I've known each other for a long time.
How long?
I don't know, man. It was
I don't
back in
either.
my Century 21 Solutions days, or not Century 21, my Solutions real estate days, right?
Yep.
So 2000, what was that? Three? No, no, maybe no 8, like 2008 or something. Sound around there, right?
Been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute, and then you invited me one night to go help you feed the homeless in the Paz de Cristo in Mason, and that just kind of, solidified the friendship, right? And away we've gone. And now
Yep.
you make sourdough bread for a living. Woo!
So do you, right?
Why, I don't. We don't need, I'm trying to stay away from the breads, man. So talk about your sourdough bread, John, because this is the moment with the real estate guys. So there's really nothing that's off topic. We can talk about whatever you want, man. So we can talk about sourdough bread. We can talk about your grandbaby. We can talk about the
Well,
mortgage business.
I will tell you that. Are you still vegetarian or vegan?
No, I'm back to everything. I just the one thing I really won't touch is swine, but it just yeah,
Well,
a
the
couple
reason
years
I
now.
ask is I always thought it was the craziest thing when I heard of it, but I have been carnivore for 6 months now.
Is that what's helped you pull to get you down to your weight? Get your weight down?
I've lost
Right on.
45 pounds. I cannot tell you, I mean, a ton of other benefits from it. The most recent thing is I had taken my mom to her physical therapy appointment and I was in flip-flops and I was sitting there and I looked down at my foot and at 59 years old, stuff starts falling apart, I looked down at my foot
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that, John.
and for years, my right ankle has had varicose veins. My right ankle was like almost purple. And
Wow.
I did not realize, and this was just 2 days ago when I looked down, that that purple was almost gone.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy.
That's
I
cool.
surprised the heck out of me. And that's the only thing that it can be. My blood pressure has gone from high blood pressure to low blood pressure.
Nice.
Yeah. So speaking of sourdough bread, I still make it, but I haven't had a piece in 6 months.
Right on. Do you selling it?
No, I don't sell it.
No.
I give
You
it
just
away.
make it. Just make it. He
I
made
just
some good
make it.
sourdough bread too. It's a trip though getting off. Like we went off. We still do it every now and then, but not like every day I would have a burrito for breakfast, right? Eggs and stuff. And then I'd have a burrito for lunch. I made them, so they're homemade. Then my neck pain started coming back. So then we had somebody on my Chris and Mike show. We were talking about inflammation, things like that. And it came to light that your breads, your bad starches, all your flour products, crackers, they're all bad for you. When we stopped it for, and at the time I was having a lot of little tingling in my neck and things like that. So I knew it was kind of rearing its ugly head back, And when we stopped, I'd probably say 2 weeks into it, I stopped having a little numbness and the tingling going down the arm. So every now and then, like Sunday, Nikki wanted a pizza, so we had pizza. So I could tell the next day I'd had a little bit of
You
tingling
could
and
feel
stuff
it.
going on, right? Because of the inflammation it caused. So that was a trip because I always kind of thought that stuff was bullshit. Oh, don't eat bread, you're not going to have this
Right,
problem,
right.
But yeah, it's legit, man. It truly worked, and it's so we just we don't do a lot of bread. We don't do a lot of tortillas and chips and crackers and things
I
like
think
that
it's
because
bread and processed foods that mess us up.
mm,
I was pre-diabetic. The whole reason I went on it is because I have been pre-diabetic for years and my A1C kept getting worse. And a good friend of mine who's been on carnivore for a while, and she kept trying to talk me into it. And I said, no way, no way, no way, you're crazy. And so finally I was like, you know what? I can do anything for 30 days. So I committed to
yeah,
doing it for 30 days. That 30 days hit, I felt so much better that
really.
I'm 6.5 months in now. And I've been using Chat GPT quite a bit, for uh, like figuring out what supplements and whatnot that I need. And yeah, and it has helped a ton. I feel tons better, way, way better.
What do you have with your Chat GPT? Does your AI person have a name?
No, I just refer to it as chat.
Okay, so here's what you want to do, John. You want to name Chat. My AI my guy's name is Dave. Okay. Everything you do with AI, please and thank you. Okay. First thing you do is go in there like later today and ask it, hey, Chat, based on what you know of me, write me a summary, a 3-paragraph summary of what you know about me. Okay. It was, don't even say 3-paragraph summary. Just say, hey, chat, describe me. What do you know about me? And let it do its thing. Okay. Then do what I'm telling you to do. Please and thank yous. When you sign on, I'm like, hey, Dave, how are you today? Good. We have a little bullshit back and forth, and then I'll tell them what hat I'm using today, whether it's the real estate guy this show's hat, or my Chris and Mike show hat, or if I'm writing blogs, or if I'm doing video content, whatever, right? I tell him to put his hat on. So he puts that hat on, and then he does this thing. So before I even understood that aspect of it, Nick in my office, he came to me and says, hey, type into your AI, Dave, what do you know about Chris Dunham? And then it was like 4 paragraphs, and it was everything that he's been learning from me for about 2 years, summarized in like
Wait,
4
he
paragraphs.
typed that into his AI?
No, I asked my AI to tell me who I was. So just based on the information I fed it, because you want to create it's weird as it sounds, man. You want to create a personal relationship with your AI. Like it's one of those things. The more it knows about you, then the more it's going to help you accomplish what you want, and it understands your mindset. Because I yell at him every now and when he pisses me off. I'll be like, "What the bleep, Dave?" He made an image one time. What's that image there for, man? It has nothing to do with me. It doesn't even look like me, man. Sorry, Chris. And then he goes in and recreates it. I'm like, I'm just done using you, man. I'm going to Canva. Oh, don't go to Canva. So, but so it has a sense of humor on a certain level, which is, again, is freaky. But it's kind of a cool dynamic, because I can literally go in there and just simple prompts and say, hey, based on this show, like I can say, hey, based on the show with John Cabello, which I'll have the entire summary of this through this platform, Riverside FM. I can punch that into Dave and say, hey, summarize this, make it SEO friendly, AIE optimal with hashtags and keywords and an engaging title. Drops it all. Then I'll go through, read it, make my adjustments, and then I'll upload it. But it makes it that much simple, because I've done so much content with him.
You do
I'll
have
write.
to, I was gonna say, you do have to be careful with it. I used it at the gym, because of the movement stuff that I play around with and stuff at the
Yeah.
gym, crawling around on the
Yeah.
floor and whatnot. And I wanted it to analyze a couple of things. And so I recorded myself, did some videos, and uploaded it. And it was really cool on the first one. I'm trying to remember what it was. I think it was squats. And I felt like something was off, and I wanted it to analyze my form, I guess you could say, doing my
Okay.
squats. And
Yeah.
it did. And so then I recorded doing deadlifts, and it came back after I uploaded the video about deadlifts. It came back and said something about, yeah, your squat was perfect. It looked really good. And I'm like, what are you talking about? That was not squat. It was totally lying and assuming. I mean, we got in a huge argument.
Wow. Okay. So did you yell at chat? That's
I
when you
did.
yell at chat. Okay. Good job. Good
I
job.
did.
Yeah. So now give chat a name and start giving it
I'll
more.
have to think of a
Yeah.
name for it.
Yeah. I always go for Dave, because that Cheech and Chong bit was the first Cheech and Chong bit I ever heard when I was a kid. Dave, remember that one?
I remember Cheech and
Dave's not
Chong, but
here. Okay. So it's Chong's outside and Cheech is inside. It's like an apartment or something. You just imagine your head there's an apartment. So Chong comes knocking on the door. Cheech comes knocking on the door, and he's like, Dave? And it's quiet, quiet, quiet. And then Chong's like, Dave? And Cheech is like, yeah, Dave. Dave's not here. No, man, it's me, Dave. I got the stuff, man. Open the door. Let me in.
I do
Who is it?
remember that.
Right? Who is it? Hey, man, it's Dave, man. That was my first bit I ever heard from them, and I loved it. It was funny. So it's Dave. In fact, there's a mile marker on the way to a house that I showed in Apache Junction. You take the 60 to the Mountain View Road. You get off that road and drive north. There's, kid you not, on Adopt the Highway. All it says is Dave. That's it. And every time I drive by it, I mean to take a picture, but I forget it's there. And you can't take a picture come the other way, because I just, so that's how it's Dave,
I'll have to ponder it and
Yeah.
come up with a good one when it hits me.
Yeah. Yeah. Inquiring minds want to know, John. I want to know what you name your
I'll let you know when I name it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So your grandfather?
I am.
How old's the grandbaby?
He's 4 years old now.
Okay. It's
Getting
crazy,
big,
huh?
man. It goes quick, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I swear the grandkids, it seems like it goes even quicker than the kids when the kids were little.
Yeah, I just think life goes. Well, you saw that. You probably saw that thing about a month ago that the Earth is sped up 0.0045 something. That So yeah.
The
So
time is
because of
going
that,
by quicker.
yeah, because of that little millisecond, little nanosecond, whatever it is, life's going by faster because it's kind of like the giant ship that's coming towards Earth, the alien craft, that's going to crash and invade us. How do they know it's an alien? And how do they know they're going to crash and invade us? It's all speculation, right? But yeah, grandkids are fun.
They
So
are.
how's the mortgage business?
Mortgage business is fun as well.
Yeah. You seen an uptick in applications and stuff?
Yeah, I've been relatively busy lately, which is a good
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, the market seems to be shifting a little bit. I recently came back to the broker side of the world, of the
I
mortgage
saw that.
world. I'm sorry.
I saw that.
Yeah, Green Home Loans now have more products available, better rates, lower fees.
Okay, so let's
And
let's pitch John the lender now. Let's talk about what programs you have.
well, I will tell you one program that I have that I'm utilizing with a client right now is a buy before you sell.
Okay.
And we're in the middle of the transaction now, so it's not closed yet, but it's going very well.
That was me
This,
perking up my ears, John. Did you see that I
yeah,
perked up my ears?
this particular buyer has a lot of equity in her property. Let's see. Let me think here. Her value on her house was about 500. She owed 90. She's getting 256,000
Okay.
from that house. They put a bona fide contract against her house, so they will
Okay.
purchase it. They'll purchase it, and that whole transaction will go through right before we close. This company purchases the house for X amount of money, and then the borrower, has 6 months to actually sell it. So she can still use her realtor that she was going to use to sell
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she has 6 months to purchase. We don't have to, they pay off her current lien, so we don't have to hold that payment against her. And that's the beauty of this program, the before you sell. And you don't have to have, basically, you have to have about 20% equity in order to use it. Now, if you only have 20% equity, you're not going to get money for your next house until you sell the house, if that makes
Okay.
sense.
Yeah.
That company that writes the contract on the house isn't going to give you funds, right? Because you're tapped out at the 80% LTV or 20% equity. But if you have enough equity in your current house, you can get money from it to use for the down payment on the new house.
Okay. And then the company so basically a third party buys the house, but on your behalf?
Yes, they purchase, it goes under, how do I explain it? It goes under contract.
Okay.
They give
Without a
the bar
contingency, right?
with
Without a
no
contingency.
contingency.
Okay.
Correct. So that
Okay.
removes the contingency there.
Which is huge.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Yep. Bad, Chris.
So, okay. So a third party buys the house. So you have to have at least 20% equity or more. The more equity you have, the better, because you can pull your equity out for your down or no.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
But okay. So for example, let's say somebody only has 20% equity. We can still make it work as long as as long as you
Down
don't need to
payment.
pull your equity out of the house because you
Okay.
don't have any equity to pull.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
And
And
then
then
they
if
have
so,
they
go
have
ahead.
6 months to sell the house, and then they will get the difference on it once it
Okay.
sells.
That's cool. Okay. So their realtor still sells it. You don't have to use the realtor okay.
They don't
So
assign them. You don't have to use one of their realtors.
okay. So
Seller
this is
can
a,
use
a
their own.
company who actually has like a brokerage that has realtors, all that kind of stuff.
No, there are some
No.
out there that do. The
Okay.
nice thing for you as a real estate agent about this one is they don't. That's why they can use
Okay.
their own realtor.
cool. So I had one of my tractors like, this is a fun day, John. So number one, that's a fantastic program, but I'm sure you see me picking up my phone. So my tractor guy comes over here and I tell him before the show, I'm like, dude, after 9 o'clock, I can't talk to you. Like I'm going to be working on the phone with my buddy John because I don't have, some people don't understand podcasts, right? So he knocks on the door and calls me. I sent him a text. Like, Chuck, I told you, man. Come on.
Bring him on the show.
No. Chuck's a nice guy, but whenever Chuck calls me, it's a good detailed conversation, which is great because I like talking to people. But where I have extreme patience for that, most people don't. That's why I told him, I'm like, okay, Chuck, understand. Once I go back in my house, man, and I'm tied up for an hour, like you got to, okay. And sure enough,
You said one of
he
your
does, and I
tractors. How
sent
many
him the
tractors do
message,
you
man.
have?
I sent him the message. Look, I sent him a picture of us. Like I'm tied up, man. Like I told you.
How many
I told
tractors
you,
do you
man.
have, Chris?
I have two. One is a Cub Cadet, is a 0-turn lawn tractor, which I bought it was the only thing I could find when COVID, because we moved into this house during COVID, and all those things were out of stock. But then I had a client who I sold their house, and he was going from an acre to a 7,500 square foot lot, and he had a John Deere with about 6 or 7 implements attached that go with it, and I'm like, what do you do with that? And he's like, I have no idea. I was like, you want to sell it? And so we kind of negotiated back and forth, and it was a good deal for what I paid for it, because they're about $5,000 new. I got it for $1,000 with all the accessories. And I've only had one thing wrong with it, which is now I was mowing the lawn last week, and all of a sudden it was revving, going up and down, but moving the same speed. I'm like, well, this isn't good. So there's this really cool old guy that our neighborhood knows that he's engine repair, lawn tractor, riding mowers. That's what they're called, riding mowers, engine, like everything. So he's a good person to have. Right. And I've referred him out. He just sometimes doesn't listen. So that's all.
My Passat was actually doing that. It turns out it needed a transmission change because the transmission was over.
Well, I hope that's not that. That would suck. But that's the benefit of having two. Then, okay.
All right.
Which is a nice thing, because then I had the Cub Cadet as a backup, and I could still, because that would suck not being able to mow this lawn, because then I have to pay some more lawn, and that's like $500 anytime I tried to do that. That's ridiculous.
Yep.
The one negative aspect of having an acre of grass.
I was just gonna say that's what you get for having such a big yard, I guess.
Yeah.
But then you have Little Man,
worth it.
right? He can.
Yeah, and Trip, Little Man and Trip. Little Man's not old enough to mow a lawn yet. He's 5.5. I guess he could be, but
Getting there.
yeah. I push mowed it last Tuesday, the whole thing.
You go to the gym that day?
No, that's why I did that. I just push mowed it instead. I haven't actually been working out as much as I was because of my neck. It's kind of, I haven't run in a while, which sucks because I love to run. But yeah, it's one of those weird things, man. That's why when you made that comment about age, how you fall apart, I was like, I don't want to hear that, John.
No.
Don't want to talk about that. Don't want to talk about that. So what other programs do you have over at your mortgage company? Mortgage broker?
All kinds of them, honestly. We've got great programs for self-employed borrowers where we can use bank statements instead of tax returns. That is a good one.
That's interesting. How far back do you look at the bank statements?
12 to 24 months. We can get you a better rate if we go back 24 months.
That's cool.
And we won't even ask for tax returns. We just get the 12 to 24 months of bank statements, go through it. There's actually a little bit of a formula for it because, we use deposits. Then depending on the type of business, they'll throw an expense factor in there, but we can use that for income, which is great for self-employed people.
That's cool. Right on. And for those of you who don't know, back in the subprime days, they had these, no asset, no income, no doc loans. So we're not going back to that nonsense, right?
We might.
No, John.
I'm telling you, dude, we might.
Why would they do that?
Because they forget about the pain of that market and what happened. I will not be surprised, to be honest.
Seriously. I think subprime lending needs to go away. That's just my personal opinion. So how long have you done mortgages? How long have you been a loan officer?
Since 1997.
Dude, that was a year after I got married.
28 years.
Wow, that's cool. So you've seen the market go up and down,
I have
rode the wave,
seen the good
as
and the
us
bad
veterans
of it.
have, right?
Hopefully, we're going back into another good market
It's
for
gonna,
us.
yeah. I don't believe the hype, man. When people say the market's bad, yes, because okay, so this is 25th, 26th year, and this is the market like it was when I bought our first house. When I got into the industry to begin with, it's the market where you could take somebody back to the same house 2 or 3 times over a course of a few weeks and not have to have high pressure buying. I like it. I have people coming in town again tonight or they came in town yesterday. They just say, hey, they're trying to sell a house in Vegas, a referral from an agent over there, and they want to look at 3 houses, one of which was the one we looked at 2 weeks ago, made an offer, but they said no because they didn't like the contingency. So I like it because there's no pressure. Nobody's second guessing their decisions. There's no buyer remorse, which I've never really had any of that anyway with clients I work with because I educate them so well. But it's a much more relaxed market than, like it's a marathon instead of a 5K to put it in running. You know what I mean? So I like it. I think it's cool. Some agents don't, but you got to work. I mean, but I ain't no slacker. But those that work continue to be busy. Those that don't, well,
That's
they
right.
just
Just,
they're like,
yep,
oh come on, I want
yep,
to sell a
yep,
house. I put a
yep.
sign in the
And they
yard. Why
continue
isn't
to.
my house sold yet? So
I
what does
think a
John
big.
like to do?
I was going to
Go
say, I
ahead.
think a big problem is people waiting for interest rates to come down and not realizing that when they do come down, everybody's going to be coming out of the woodwork and it's going to start driving prices up and end up costing people more because they waited too long. So yes, they might have a lower rate, but then they're going to pay more for a house. And so their payment goes up because prices go up.
I don't think that. I mean, because what are rates right now? Like low six?
Low six? No.
Yeah.
Well,
What are they?
depending. FHA, VA, yes. Conventional, no.
What's conventional?
I
Okay. Why? Okay. So why is government ones lower than conventional?
always, always have been.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
Govies are always lower.
See, I always would have thought the conventional with the higher credit score and the more. No. Wow. Look at John just taught me something today. That's crazy. Okay.
Now,
So
now the
yeah.
reason a lot of people will go, the reason we'll put a lot of people into conventional that have a higher credit score is because typically the mortgage insurance is less and it offsets the higher rate. But if somebody has
And
a
yeah.
mid to low 600 credit score, FHA all day long because FHA, it doesn't matter if you have a 620 credit score or an 800 credit score. With FHA, you're going to have the same mortgage insurance premium. To whereas on conventional, the higher your credit score, the lower the mortgage insurance.
Wow.
And of course,
Interesting.
VA doesn't have monthly mortgage insurance; they just have the upfront funding fee,
Yep.
unless
Yep. Is that 2.25%?
the upfront. No, it's
Hmm.
3.3%.
Okay. That's not bad. It's only gone up a little over 1% since I've been selling
For
houses.
first time use.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, okay. That's cool. That's good to know. I still thought it was around 2.25, but I'm not a lender. John is. So what does John do for fun? What are John's hobbies?
Boy, what are my hobbies? I guess you could still say it's still baking sourdough because I still bake it quite often
Right.
for different
Right.
things. I also partner dance, as you know.
Country
What
dance, country
what
swing,
what
right?
what West Coast swing and Argentine tango. Actually, I had taken a break from Argentine tango for quite a while, for a few years, and I just got back into it this last. Every year there's a Tucson Tango Festival, and I hadn't been to it in 5, 6, 7 years, and I thought, you know what, I want to get back into the tango scene, and so I jumped back in with both feet and having a blast with it.
Cool.
So
Right on, man. Yeah,
yeah,
we're in the middle of intermediate one at Country Nomads.
okay.
Yeah,
Over
we're
there on
doing
Southern Broadway, Southern.
Southern and Stapley. Yeah, we went there once with you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah.
right.
So
Yep.
yeah, so that's what we're in the middle of that intermediate too, which it sounds really good, but then you think, well, shit, I don't remember what I learned in beginner, and then you go back to the stuff we used to learn that we do at Dim and Diamonds, and if you don't do it, like every few days, you forget it. Like there's
Yeah.
probably 2 or 3 moves in my head, but which is why we record them. But it's kind of like, Nikki gives me shit all the time. We need to have a night where we just practice dance lessons. Okay, okay, and then neither one of us say, "Hey, let's practice."
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
but it's
And then
fun.
imagine
It's
not having a partner to practice it with, then you never do. I don't even watch the videos afterwards anymore, it seems like,
yeah,
from lessons. But I am going, this weekend is a big West Coast swing convention in Phoenix,
yeah, okay,
Desert City Swing. And then
right
in
on,
October, I'm going to Albuquerque for the Albuquerque Tango Fest.
cool, man,
Yeah.
right on.
So that's
So
my
where do
hobby.
people? Yeah, well, that's awesome. So where do people find you when they want to, if they want to go online and find you? What's your contact? Pitch all your socials, your website, all that kind of stuff.
Well, so you can find me at John Cabello on Facebook, on Instagram. I think it's JT Cabello. Website is applywithjohnc.com.
Applywithjohnc.com. Okay.
Make sure to throw that C in there.
John C. The C's for Campbell.
JohnC.com. And then, of
JohnC.com.
course, cell phone. I'm always available on cell, which is 602-326-5626,
There you go.
which is
That's John
actually
Cabello, man.
602-326-LOAN, but that doesn't matter
Really?
anymore.
Right on.
Yeah.
I had
I've had that for 30 years.
I had one. I had an 800 number. It was 1-888 real estate guy. The RLSGUY. Of course, when you put that on a billboard, you think it's cool, but then people wait,
Right.
really RL? Well, this is stupid. Just that's the cool thing about QR codes now. Just throw up a QR code, boom,
Right.
done. You can put them up secretly too. Just say scan here, don't say why. Well, right on. This was the moment with the real estate guy. That's John Cabello. We've known each other for a very long time. Sourdough, dancing, mortgage loans. Apply at johnc.com.
With JohnC.com.
Applywithjohnc.com. Until next time, we'll see you later. Thanks, John.
Hey, Chris.